Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell for notifications. I'm here today to talk to you about the new 2021 PJ 35/5 with monster ramps and air ride. Deck over, no less. So I ordered the trailer back in January, end of January. It took them 3 months, a little over 3 months to get it to me. So I ended up going to Ferris, Texas to a place called Happy Trailer Sales to pick up the PJ trailer. That's who I bought it off of, was Happy. It's my second PJ trailer. I absolutely loved the 32-foot PJ I had. Awesome little trailer. Awesome little trailer. So I drive down there to get this trailer. I wanted to go through it with you real quick and let you know that what I've got, what I like thus far, what I dislike thus far. And, you know, none of this is set in stone. This is sort of my first review. Things that I'm not sure about yet and things that I might have wished I'd have added. So, okay. I'm going to go down the paperwork here real quick just to give you the specs on what I bought. So I bought a PJ 40-footer. It's a low-flow fat deck with duals. It's got a 30,000-pound coupler on it with a toolbox. It's got two 12,000 pounds Drexel axles with air ride. Got a 5-foot dovetail, and I've got the monster ramps that come up and level out on the deck to make a 40-foot deck. It's powder coated. It says here that it's powder coated black. I added a winch plate. I'm not sure why I added the winch plate because I don't winch anything up. I just thought, well, while they're making it, I'll just go ahead and add a winch plate. On the other trailer, when I checked to see what it would cost to add a winch plate on that, it was like $800 for somebody to come in and weld a winch plate up. So this was only add a winch plate. It was like $150 to add a winch plate. So I went ahead and did that. Now, the other thing I did was put a torque tube in it. The torque tube is a tube that runs down the center of it that keeps your trailer from torquing back and forth like this. It really helps stabilize the deck when you have, especially the way I run with LTL, and I don't know what the weights are going to be, so I can't set the trailer up perfectly every time. So I got that done. Now I will tell you, they did offer me a veterans discount, and that's basically they had no dock fee. Is what I don't know what their dock fee would have been, but they didn't charge me a dock fee, and for that I'm appreciative. So if you talk to them down there, you know, let them know that you're a veteran and you would like the same deal. Okay. Now, I also had a deck on the neck, which is 102 inches wide by 96, so it's 8.5 by 96 is 8, something like that, whatever. I think 8.5 by 8. So that's what I started out with. That's what I went down there and picked up. Was the deal. So I drove down to Ferris, Texas, pouring down rain. It was a terrible day, very gloomy. Couldn't really see a lot. We were inside of a building. I'll show you some pictures here.
5 and 5 PJ, deck on the neck, air ride. There's your deck on the neck. You got your toolbox. 12,000 pound axles. 12,000 pound stands. I had these lights put on for nighttime. It's a lot of deck. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm here. There's your Pro Max air suspension. Bulldog coupler, spare tire on the nose. Alright guys, stand by. I'll let you know how it's working out.
Out the door cost of this thing was $25,327.55. Okay, 27,327.55. So, you know, you're talking about $25,000. I get the trailer, I get it out, down the road I go. Now, I get, I'm probably 11 miles away. The next day, maybe, I think it might have been the next day, I walked out and was doing my walk around and took a hard look at the trailer, and I discovered that the fit and finish on this trailer was absolutely terrible. It's supposed to be powder coated black. Well, what they did, why they did it, probably short of parts, whatever, but they took a red handle and spray painted it black, stuck it on my trailer, and sent it out that way. PJ ought to know better than that. I called him as soon as I saw it, and also had to report that the decking boards were miscut, and I mean, they just didn't take their time and cut the stuff. I'll show you pictures of that. I just wasn't happy. For a $25,000 trailer, this thing ought to have been, you know, well laid out. So from PJ's perspective, the fit and finish gets a D. Was kind of not happy about that. Even though I called them and they're going to take care of the handle and send me a powder coated handle, I still have to deal with it. And I don't want to deal with it. I want to drive the trailer. So I know I'm whining, but I'm that way when I spend 25 grand on something. I'd like it to be right. I'd like it to be correct. They didn't have any problem taking my money. They shouldn't have any problem sawing the boards correctly and powder coating what they're supposed to powder coat. So that being said, like I said, PJ, now the dealer told me that PJ wouldn't do anything about it. I'm a little pissed over that. I had to go around the dealer to go straight to the manufacturer and deal with the manufacturer. All right, so things that I had dealt with the dealer. The dealer is supposed to prep the trailer. Okay, he's supposed to put the right amount of air in the tires, supposed to do whatever it is they're supposed to do. Well, I had a light, 2 backup lights put on this trailer. I had a bar light and 2 small side lights. For lack of better words, a 12-year-old could have wired this up better and secured it better. The wiring was a rat's nest of just electrical tape and crap. It's just not the way you do things, or at least not the way I would do things, and not the way I had him pay to do it. So yeah, I'm not happy with that. Things about the trailer, and again, I'm not here to bust anybody's balls and give bad reviews on things, but you know, when you got a customer driving 1,200 miles, and you would think you would do what you could to make things right, but the service department at this particular Happy's there in Ferris, Texas, I wouldn't have them clean my pool. So things that I like on this trailer thus far, things that I like, the air ride. I like it a lot. Like it a lot, guys. I like the monster ramps. Now they are, I don't know if it's just because they're new or what, but they are very heavy to open. Very easy to close, but very heavy to open. So I do like that. I like the thought of the deck on the neck, but I haven't used it yet. I haven't found anything to put up there. So things that I dislike about this trailer thus far, and it may change, guys, it may change. But things that I dislike about this trailer thus far is the 5-foot dovetail setup. The gaps, as the dovetail goes down, the monster ramps are fine, but the gaps are so wide that a small piece of equipment cannot be driven up on the deck. It's going to have to be loaded. The prime example is the scissor lift. We were going to just run 2 scissor lifts up on the deck and park them up there, but you couldn't do it. We had to have a forklift come in and load them because of the width between each rung of that dovetail. It was just too wide. So I'm not crazy about that. The other thing about the dovetail that I'm not crazy about right now is if you put a vehicle up on that dovetail, okay, you don't have to imagine this because I didn't have one on it. So, but if you drive something up on there where you have to have the dovetail to get it on and off, that 5-foot space behind it effectively becomes non-usable unless your piece comes off before that piece. Because what are you going to do with it unless, you know, maybe your automobile person has a forklift you can use to get that piece moved so you can get the dovetail down. That becomes a dead space. So that's something that I never thought about before I bought the trailer. I see it now and it's like, ugh. Even though that makes it a lot easier to get up and down, it's not that great when you start thinking about once you put a vehicle on there, you literally go to a 35-foot trailer. You cut that whole 5 feet off. You're not able to do anything with it. Okay, so not crazy about that. Not crazy about the weight. Right now, this trailer dried out curb weight on it is 10,460 pounds. 10,460. That was, with the 32 foot, that was normally my max load, you know, so, yeah, it's heavy, and it sucked. My fuel mileage dropped by 3 miles per gallon with this trailer. All right, so, and this is something, the next thing is something, if you don't have any experience driving or have little experience driving, I would stay away from a 40-foot dual axle trailer. And I'm going to tell you now, because you're not dealing with 40 feet. You're dealing with 35 and 5. There's your 40. But now you got a 9-foot long neck. So now you're at 49 feet. You're almost as long as a semi-trailer. So by the time you put the truck on there, you're as long as a semi. And guys, it's no joke. It is no joke. I really have to drive now. I can't just go down the road like with that little 32 footer. And what makes the biggest difference is they move the axles back, so it tracks a lot differently than the 32 footer did. Okay, so another thing I dislike, which I'm going to dislike forever, is the fact that with this particular trailer, they have to move, I guess because of how much weight it hauls, they have to move the neck closer together, and it just ate up my toolbox in the front. Absolutely ate it up. There's no room for anything in that. That toolbox is probably, I don't know, that wide. It's just a little thing I'm going to have to buy under the mat or under the deck toolboxes and have installed, so I'll have room for everything I need to haul. Okay. So that's, again, this is just now. This is today. This is what I'm not digging about it right now. Now, things may change, and they probably will, but now this is a couple things that I'm not sure about. I'm just not there yet. The deck on the neck adds about 1,000 to 1,200 pounds, and I have not used it. So I'm hauling that weight around, and I haven't used it one time. I haven't found anything up there that I can put up there. I like it. I like the thought of it. It gives me space. So I actually have 48 feet of deck space, but I've never used that 8 feet up there. With that deck on the neck, it makes it a little bit difficult to get up into the bed if you need to get up in the bed for something. Like when you grease the ball, if you're on the road and you got to grease the ball, it makes it a little difficult. The next thing would be the tires. Now, the 32 foot come with Goodyear tires on it, and I was pretty happy with the Goodyear tires. They were good. PJ chinsed out and went to something called a Good Ride tire, which comes from a tire manufacturer over in China. They're 16-inch 10-ply ST 235/80R16s. I called my tire guy down the road and I asked him if he had ever heard of these tires, and he said, and I quote, "I take a lot of them off, but I've never sold one or put one on." So if that tells you anything. Well, if I go and replace these tires, it's going to be $1,819, but I would upgrade to a 14-ply tire. I'm going to try to run these one more run. I've already had 2 flats on these tires. And then again, the dealer didn't put the right amount of air in them, so when I rolled out that first day, they were 10 pounds under pressure. Things that I wish I'd added with this trailer. The thing that I wish I'd added, one and only one thing, is the hydraulic jacks. It was $2,500, I think, for a set of hydraulic jacks, and I just couldn't make it happen. And I didn't order them. And now I wish I had it, because I could have pushed a button and raised the damn trailer up. This trailer's heavy, guys. I mean, you crank on it, it's heavy. If you got a load on it, forget it. You're not going to lift it up. Well, I mean, I guess you can. If you're a muscle man, you can lift it up. I'm not going to lift it up. So, overall report on the trailer, on the PJ trailer, 35 and 5, is basically, I haven't fallen in love with it yet. I think it took a little glamour off of it when I realized that the fit and finish on it was not as good as I thought it should be. It does have some endearing qualities. You know, you can put weight. This thing's GVRW is 30,000 pounds, and I can put about 20,000 on the deck. So I like the trailer. I'm just not in love with the trailer. So when you're ordering your trailer or getting a trailer, keep these things in mind. You know, this is a CDL Hotshot trailer. It's 40 feet long, and if you're running non-CDL and you don't have experience of driving a semi or driving a 40-foot long trailer, you remember that that thing's 49 feet long, plus your truck. You need to reconsider that. I wouldn't recommend more than, for non-CDL, I wouldn't recommend more than 32. That's it, because you're still at 40 with the neck. Other than that, guys, that's it. Like, subscribe, share these videos. We'll see you next time. Again, I'm not out bitching. I'm not. I'm very thankful. We paid cash for this trailer off of the proceeds from the little trailer. So I'm not bitching about this trailer, but I wish they'd have done a better job. For 25 grand, I wish they'd have done a better job. All right, guys, thanks. We'll see you next time.